talking about? No, he's not on here yet. Another day in the market waiting on the Shay. You said the Shay probably with his girl?
No, not that. So, like, I told him I put those $16 calls in today, and that motherfucker's look at my 1850 put.
Hey, bro, look, I told you it plays in a range. It had hit the top of that range at 1870. I said $19. It hit 18.7, like 6, 7, 9. It reversed, and then it went back up to that range.
As soon as it struggled at 1830, I'm like, yeah, this is, I mean,
it's going to 1650, 17, 1650. So you just got to play that range, bro. But that's exactly why I was like, all right, we got to talk about Apple, because last night I was looking at the 4 hour and I was just like, wait, and I zoomed in. So y'all see my chart?
Yep.
All right. So this wasn't here, but I saw this range and I was just like, mark the level. It was already marked, but I just like mentally looked at it. And then I'm like, all right, 293. I already knew that 294 is the level it keeps reclaiming, right? But then I'm like, all right, 294 to 300. That's 1 day. That's 2 day. That's 3 day. That's 4 day. That's 5 days in a row. Last night I was like 5 days in a row, literally the same retrace of $4. All right, let's break this bitch down. Let me zoom in, right? And so I was like, let's look at it on the 15, right? And so if you look at the first candle of the day and the first 15-minute close, it closed green, right? And then for the next 4 candles, it was green. So that's the first 15 minutes dictated the next hour worth of momentum. And it continued, and then it broke down. But for this, what we're looking at, let's just look at the first hour's worth of candles. So the first 15, the next hour, same direction, right? The next day, the first candle, then the first 15 was green. The next 4 candles are green. And then the 5th candle broke and went red for a retest. And then it continued, right? And so the next day, our first candle, all right, this one doesn't follow perfectly. But the first 15, it went green. And then the next low broke the low of the first 15. And the next hour, we went down. And then we continued down for the rest of the day. Long story short, whatever direction the first 15 is, that's the direction for the day. So right here, the first 15 was red. So the next hour we were green, but ultimately the rest of the day we were red and choppy. And that was dictated in the first 15 that we were going lower today. Same thing here. It broke to the green side real early. It held it for the first hour, and then it came down the rest of the day. But that first 15 in the first hour is the direction of Apple for the next hour and a half. And I tested it today, and it did the same thing, but it kind of fucked with me because I took a play in the direction of the first 15, and then you see this big red, and then it dropped, and then it teetered out. I sold out. Later on today, my 2 calls, or I don't remember if they're calls or puts, but both of my contracts, one was 2 something, the other was 3 something. I sold both of them for less than 150. But I went off this first 15-minute candle, and then I just sold before the next 2 15-minute candles closed. But long story short, look at the first 15, whatever direction it goes, you got an hour to play that direction. And that was at least for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. And then at some point, it broke that direction and then retraced. So you got an up and a down.
All right, so what's going to happen tomorrow, though?
So tomorrow, what I will look at from even just from what Chuck just said, here's the deal. Micron is going to control the entire market. Nvda is also going to control the market. So Apple if I was to play Apple, I would go maybe into a long. I think Apple's going to sit on the back burner right now because with Micron, they obviously crushed the Wall Street expectations, and they also announced $22 billion in long-term customer agreements, which makes investors very excited, obviously. But when you have a move like this, it hardly touches because stocks like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, those are more emotional stocks. Stocks that are going to have money in them after a Micron earnings report like this are Nvda, Broadcom, AMD, and Marvell. Data center suppliers and memory manufacturers like DRAM and stuff like that. So what I would watch, because Apple is going to follow the rest of the tech sector, not the other way around. What I would watch is as long as the 10-year yield and the 20-year yield is down, then I think the bullish sentiment stays. But if that 10-year yield, if the US 10 and the US 20 start to go down or start to go up, it's going to wipe away all that bullish sentiment on Q. That's at least on QQQ. Tomorrow, how I would play it is the first 15 minutes is going to be a fake out or it's going to be a gap up. And what I'm looking for is to see if it can hold above the pre-market highs. Because remember, QQQ went to 719 and then it dropped all the way to 704 today. So I'm not impressed by 722. So I'm looking to see if what it opens up after Europe and then what it opens up in the pre-market. And then companies are going to put the reason why I don't think Apple's going to move a lot tomorrow is because companies are going to take their money out of Apple and they're going to put it in Nvidia, Broadcom, AMD, Marvell, and data center companies because of what Micron's guidance was. They offered really, really good guidance, which, I mean, we all kind of knew that. Their stock went parabolic in the last couple months. So QQQ futures is what I'm looking at in the pre-market before 9:30. Nvidia pre-market, Micron pre-market, 10-year Treasury yield, and the VIX.
So there's another thing too. I'm sorry to cut you off here.
No, you're good.
So like with DRAM, they have the SK Hynix. Is that what it is?
What is it?
SK Hynix. It's traded only in Korea with Samsung.
Some shit happened with Korea too, or was that?
That was yesterday. So
Yeah.
There's so much market share there that like it drove the market down like 10%, which is why DRAM went down. But DRAM as an ETF holds that SK Hynix. So from my knowledge on it, it looks like that stock is actually going to be transferred to the NASDAQ here shortly, within like July 2nd week, maybe 3rd week.
Yeah, I'm actually probably going to take. I'm probably going to take longs in DRAM if it holds above the 75, and that's obviously due to the fact that Micron is the leader in DRAM because DRAM stands for Dynamic Random Access Memory. Right. That's what the ETF is. So it's going to follow the Micron hype and whatever. But obviously, what we're doing is when they have big moves like this, usually people are like, "Oh, I missed it." No, just wait for the fucking retest. It's going to come down, and if you catch it because we don't chase green candles, right? So let's say tomorrow it opens and it's green. That first red candle, the moment it rejects, I'm calls. If that red candle, the first red candle after the green one, because people are going to take profits. You have a lot of people that have calls in QQQ and all these other tech stocks. If it booms tomorrow, they're going to take profits and you're going to get a retracement. And most people miss out on that retracement because they think that they missed out on this aftermarket. Nobody knew what the fuck this was going to do today. I mean, obviously you could have guessed, and you would have got lucky. But with AI stocks, it's not about like if they have good earnings. It's about if people are still spending in AI. And Micron just proved that people are still spending in AI because they have $22 billion in future contracts.
Okay.
That's the entire story, because AI is ran on complete sentiment. Because everybody's like, oh, all these data centers, and is it actually making money? And AI is not actually making money. And Micron just showed that no, people are still spending money in the AI space. So, but I think Apple, I think Google, I think all of those will follow QQQ and everything else. But because they're more emotional, the major stocks that I would put on first is Nvda, Broadcom, AMD. If you want some cheap ones, some what did I write down here?
So Chuck, I don't want to steal your thunder here. I promise you.
Oh, you good? No, you good. Jump in whenever.
Your pattern recognition was absolutely phenomenal.
On what?
On Apple.
You talking about Chuck's?
Yeah. For recently, with the past 6 trading days, phenomenal. That was like I wish that pattern could continue.
And so
will continue.
I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow. Appl is the first thing I'm looking at, just so I can test that again to see if it's really gonna hold true, essentially. Because like even outside of that 6 days, again, 15-minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 candles. That's a whole hour. 15-minute, next 4 red. You feel me? So it's like even outside of those 6 days, it still is doing that.
The reason why that is so fire is because, like I said, Apple is an emotional stock. You're not looking at candles; you're looking at human behavior. So that pattern recognition on Apple is most likely going to work because it's traded off of emotion, and it's very, very hard for humans to change their emotions. So the same thing is going to keep happening. And the chance that it doesn't happen tomorrow would be crazy.
And so,
like, why wouldn't it happen tomorrow, right? Like, it has to.
It's just a matter of, is it up or down? And most likely it's probably either, like Jordan said, going to stall, or early on is going to try and break 293. This is the thing. It's bounced on this 294 level again for over a week. So like it just broke it in aftermarket. And that's really what's going to determine the direction of it. If pre-market, it continues down, it's going to open fucking down. And then we're going to have an hour of downside.
In the money or out the money?
Hear me out.
Go ahead, Zach.
The run-up that it's had, it had a bear trap, okay, which went back up to a little bull like levy here. With what is your bottom blue line?
I don't have a bottom line because, like you said, it ran up.
No, not your bottom blue line, on your chart.
Down here?
No, it's like turquoise. I'm sorry.
Oh, what is this? This is the 250 moving average, I believe.
Okay, so now it's touching that again. This is just me. Don't listen to me because I trade SoFi as an asshole.
And that's what I'm saying. Once we hit open tomorrow, that first candle is going to be a big determining factor. Because like right now, we're looking at after hours stuff. You feel me? And even yesterday in after hours, it's everything. Everything was tanking after hours. And they still open around where they closed at. You feel me? So it's like looking at this and making a decision, I wouldn't even do it yet. But noting that right there in that line, most definitely. Because if it breaks this, we have more downside to 288 easy.
That's what I'm saying. If it crosses that 288 threshold,
yeah, it's over.
Your next support level is 280 back in like February.
No, for sure. But the overextension on Appl is literally the exact same thing as what we have on QQQ and on the SPY. Like they're almost mirror images of each other, bro. You feel me? So it's like, yeah, I'm aware. You're right, but everything is doing the same thing. And like Jordan said, QQQ still went to 720 today and finished at 710. Like, how does that work? You feel me? So I'm not gonna make a call or a prediction until I see how people are behaving when they see it in the morning.
Yeah, and so all right. So when it comes to QQQ and the SPY, if you're trading the ETFs, remember Appl makes up most of, well, not most of it, makes up a very, very significant portion of QQQ, right? So although Appl moves QQQ, Nvda and Broadcom they also make up a very, very big share of QQQ and SPY. So literally, not in the long term, but just tomorrow, Nvda this is the order that you're gonna watch, because Appl is important, but we also have to remember that people's eyes are on Micron, right? Apple's going to eat off of that, but the fact that what is Appl in after hours right now?
290, 298.
Is it down or up?
Down.
Right. So what does that tell you? That tells you that people took their money out of Appl and they're putting it in Nvidia, Broadcom, AMD, things like that. So tomorrow, Appl might be a good buy because it's going to be a sleeper. Appl is usually very, very, very important, except after Micron has because Appl is it's a customer of Micron, Nvidia, Broadcom. It's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not
main mover.
It's not on the same plateau because Appl buys stuff from those AI companies. Nvidia runs the entire AI market. Broadcom runs the entire infrastructure market, and Micron runs the entire chip market. Appl is going to come in if the risk is on for AI in general, if oil is down, and I think the order goes, and obviously we're gonna look at them all tomorrow, but I think the order for tomorrow is Nvidia. That's the number one stock. The number one stock that's going to be affected tomorrow is Nvidia. Why? They're the biggest company in the world when it comes to AI. Because Nvidia, Appl, these companies are emotionally traded, most retail traders are not looking at Broadcom. They're not looking at AMD, and they're not looking at Micron because those are institutional buys. So Nvidia is your number one. Broadcom is your number two. The reason I like those are because institutional money goes in there. So when the price is there, it usually stays a little bit longer. Advanced micro devices, AMD, would be 3.
I was just about to say, what do you think about AMD?
AMD is going to be affected as well. But we are talking about the AI chip sector, and Appl is a customer of the AI chip sector. So for instance, you have Nino Brown, and you have the guy that's directly below him. Nino Brown is a supplier. So the guy directly below him, if Nino Brown is eating, of course Appl's going to eat, or the guy below him is going to eat. But that guy is buying his shit from Nino Brown, not the other way around. So when Appl moves, it's because they've released a new product. They've had good earnings. Their guidance is fairly good on sales or whatever the case may be. Like Appl's move happened after they dropped that new MacBook. I think it's going to be stale for a while. I think Nvidia goes to the moon tomorrow. I think Micron, as long as Micron can hold its after hours and its pre-market, I think they also go to 1,300 tomorrow. And AMD and Broadcom, institutional money is going to flow into those two. Apple is going to be a sleeper. That doesn't mean that Apple's can't go up. It's just going to be a sleeper because it's the only one that's down in after hours.
We're not looking for calls on it necessarily.
No. I know. We're looking for the puts, but how much is it going to move is the question, because it's moving right now. So what would be your number to get into puts on Apple? Like in the morning, if it opens at what would you say?
I mean, if it breaks below where it's at right now, it's at 290. If it continues to 288 and breaks that, it's down.
What do you think? How far do you think it goes down?
If it breaks 288, it can go to 282, and then after that 280, and then after that the next level is 270s, 274, 276.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off. No. I just had a forecasting epiphany that you guys just agreed on me.
I'm assuming that's a good thing.
Are you going to share it? No, I feel like I finally got trusted at that aspect.
Oh, right.
Don't left me on SoFi. That's no.
Look,
don't let me trade SoFi.
I'm glad you feel trusted, but I'm not gonna.
My bad. I see why you said the 288, because that's where all the liquidity is.
And it's at 290 right now, and that's the level I already have that is held. Right. Some of these levels I've had on the chart since last year. You feel me? So. Once it breaks 288, we got room to 284. After 284, 282. And then if we break 282, 280. And then after that, we got room to 272, 274.
But if everybody is bullish on the AI sector tomorrow, do you think it bounces off that 288 and goes up? Or you think like how many candles are we waiting to see if it breaks that?
I'm not looking for a smooth continuation from where it opens all the way to 280 to 282. You feel me? I'm just looking for confirmation of direction.
For sure.
What I said in our group chat is okay, so Micron, right? They're gonna have to pass. I'm sorry, Apple is gonna have to pass costs back onto the customer. So you're about to see a dramatic increase in iPhone prices because people want more AI capabilities in their hand. You need more memory capacity in your phone.
I think things are moving faster than
Yeah, SoFi I don't like 20. It goes like I was about to say during reports. Yeah. What up, gang? Another day in the life. What up, dog?
I was gonna swing over to this now bar real quick, see what's popping to.
I'm
Oh, you
yeah, I'm in a live.
let me shut the fuck up. I'm gonna say something incriminating.
So this right here is 1867. The top here is 1960 or 76. Yeah, no, 1967. And then right here is 2142. So since February, it hasn't broke $21, period. And anytime it touches 19 or over, it flushes back to 1415. This whole year, essentially. I mean, I wouldn't say it's forming a flag. Yeah. It's just a matter. So look right here, you can see where it hit 32.73. And then before then, this is when I was trading it. You feel me? $14. And I didn't even know it had ever even hit this until I came back in this bitch. But where did it come back to? That $15 level where it was at all-time highs when I had been charting it the year before. And so look, for 4 months last year into February, it was in the same range, which is why I told you what I did at the beginning of this week and last week. Is going to keep bouncing until it can break $20, bro. Until it can break and hold $21 for more than a day, more than 10, 20 minutes, you're going back to 15, 16, 50. That's crazy. All right, so real quick, let's go ahead and chart up AMD. I'm gonna show y'all how I draw support and resistance on the 5-minute. And so pretty much all I'm doing is looking for places where 3 or more candles touch the same line over here. So right here we have our prices, and then each of these candles starts and ends at a certain price. So at points where the candles hit the same line, I'm going ahead and I'm putting a blue line to indicate our support and resistance. Deshay over there whispering and shit. Deshay over there whispering. Oh, that's you? I just heard the whispers. All right, so now if you look, you can see that the lines that I drew, even though I was zoomed in like this, when I zoomed out like this, however you want to call it, zoomed in, zoomed out. Once I zoom in, you see that the lines I drew might have seemed random, but we have multiple days of the stock bouncing within these lines that I just drew. And so when I'm watching in real time now, I'm going to be looking for the price to fluctuate between these levels before deciding on a new direction or a new high or a new low. And that's going to give me guidance on what entries to take getting in and out of trades. And it really is that simple. It just takes practice being able to draw them as like quickly and free-handedly as I did just now. And if you start on the 1 minute, you have way more opportunities to practice looking for candles that have like multiple touches on them. It's just with certain stocks, you don't really want to go off of the 1 minute chart because it's not really going to help you once you zoom out and the stock is moving multiple dollars within hours. But yeah, you could easily just practice like this because it gives you more candles to test off of and make sure that you see like 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 of these candles right here intersect at this line. And then so do these here, so do these here, and so do these here. And then these got really close. So if you want to be more accurate, you could go ahead and draw that up there. Or if you want it to be here, you can go ahead and draw that there. It just depends on your safety and precaution level, like personally, and whether you're looking for support or resistance. I try to just be as close to the beginning of as many lines as possible. Nigga, fuck it, we ball. Yeah, fuck it, we ball. We try and get it, dog. Yeah. They brand. This is the Costco. Hey man, $20. But this Terramana though, isn't that the rock shit? Could be wrong. Actually, I think his shit is just mana or some shit like that. Look, Terramana, mana. You stupid. You say you about to trade the spy? Oh, I was just going through all the shits we was talking about for tomorrow. Just can you hear me? Am I in this bitch? You asked Deshay or you asked me? Am I mute? Oh shit. All right, I'm mute as hell. Did you ask me what am I looking at? You asked Deshay what he's looking at. I think he walked away. But nah. It's continuing down for the if it breaks this 250 EMA, it's going down to at least 288. And then if it breaks 288, we got a couple points. But at the same time, for the last week and a half, it's been bouncing to 300 and back. And even before that, 300 and down. Even before that, 300, 300, 300, 300, 300. You feel me? So we might just get a reversal if everything else in the chip sector goes green and then everybody's happy and Apple's still a tech play. You feel me? But that first 15 minutes is going to dictate at least an hour's worth of what direction Apple takes. Yeah, no. If it opens down in pre-market, it's already at 290. 9 times out of 10 is going to break that 298 in the first 5 minutes if it's going to happen. Exactly. It's all about entry points and whether or not it reverses off of that 288. Because if it reverses off that 288, we got 294 or 300. But oh. You're stupid. You're stupid for the last point. But no, my nigga tried to come back, dog. He tried to come back. And this is the thing. I don't think it was a fuck you, bro. It wasn't a fuck you at all. It was one, this nigga just dropped out because he was feeling, you feel me, distraught. That's why he dropped out. And then somewhere in between that, he decided, I'm coming back and I'm coming back different. All right, so let's look at what the fuck we looking at for tomorrow. So QQQ and SPY ETFs, they control everything, controls them in a sense, but they control the direction of the overall market, right? So we're gonna be looking to see what they're doing, and I can't call it. I believe that they're both going to go down and they're both going to go up, which is what stocks do, go down and go up. So for me personally, it's not a matter of calling it. It's a matter of catching the move and riding the momentum and seeing confluence. And 9 times out of 10, whichever direction these two open up, they're going to continue in that direction for about an hour. And so I really wanted to play Appl tomorrow. I'm probably still going to watch it to see if it confirms that 15-minute pattern or not. But the real movers based on tomorrow's market is going to be Palantir, AMD, Broadcom. I'm not going to lie. I don't watch Broadcom myself. This came from Jordan. Shout out Jordan the trader. Go follow him over on IG. Hop in the Discord. We be in there making moves. And SoFi, I like SoFi, but SoFi is a positioning trade. It's getting in for a swing trade. I don't usually try to day trade SoFi. This past week, I did 3 times. I'm green 2 out of 3, and that's why I don't really like to trade SoFi for daily contracts. It's usually a week, 2 weeks, even a month out, and I just ride the momentum. Palantir, I used to watch it a lot. That 116 number is very, very, very key for Palantir. Even back in 2020, that 116, 120 level was a prominent zone. So if we break 116 and continue into 120, I'm going to look for more upside, especially if everything from the news is good when it comes to chips and AI, and especially if QQQ and SPY open up, or if SPX has a good burst up, because SPX has been taking a little bit of a beating this past week. And so right here, you can see tomorrow's trading plan. We're going to look for market confirmation on QQQ and SPY. We're only going to take calls on QQQ if it breaks 728. We're only going to take calls on SPY if it breaks 738 to 740. Once they hit 730 to 740, 741, I'm honestly probably going to be either looking to get out or seeing support. And then with AMD and AVGO, I can't even tell you anything outside of what's on here because I don't have my own personal confluence. I just went through my charts today, and then I made these charts right here. So I'm going to look for AMD to break 540. If AMD can break 540, we have a lot of room to the upside. So I'm not trying to ignore what niggas got going on. It's just I'm trying to make this video short and stick to the market. Right now we talking family business. So while they talk family business, I'm gonna go ahead and go through this real quick so I can get into the convo. And Palantir, like I said, 116, 120 has been key. So if Palantir loses 112 and after rejecting the 116, we have a lot of room to the downside. I'll even be watching it for around $100. But again, everything is dependent on what happens with QQQ and SPY and SPX to start the day off and what the news is around chips. We've already gotten a decent confluence for chips, but everything is down right now in aftermarket a little bit. And so QQQ, SPY are going to be my two watches. And then I'll probably end up in Palantir or AMD. Broadcom, let's see. Actually, let's look at this. So these are the stocks I want to watch. These are my target prices on the upside and the downside for all four of them. So I have QQQ going between 732 and 744. Anything after 744, I'm out for the day. It's overextended. Downside after 706, it could honestly go to 700. It could go to 690s. You never know. And then with SPY today, I had some calls for 738, I believe, 740. And so I'll watch that 740 line again. I don't see it going to 750, but you got to be prepared for anything in this market. AMD, we have upside after 546. Well, after 540, we have upside to 546, and it is as high as 563 has been charted. If it goes to the downside, I'm gonna be watching for it to break that 538, and if it goes under 530, we're going to 520. But yeah, y'all can read all of this. Take a screenshot of it if you want to. Take a picture, whatever the fuck you want. This is what's going to happen tomorrow. Probably, really, in my honest opinion, I feel like the market is going to go up and go down. We'll probably go two price targets on both directions on all four of these, realistically, with the way this market has been going. I'm not going to bullshit you. And so we're just going to look for the market direction off of the first 15-minute candle. And we're going to look at these contracts. I'm going to look at the open volatility and the open volume on them and decide which one is the best. I usually try to range for contracts that are like $50 to $150. Anything over that, I don't really like touching it. Anything cheaper is usually very far out the money and is not going to move fast enough to make you your money back, right? So this is the game plan. Look at QQQ and SPY for confirmation. If SPY can break 738, we go in green. If QQQ can break and hold 728, 730, we go in green. And then after that, I'm going to be looking at AMD, Broadcom, Palantir, and SoFi. And then I like Appl because I noticed the pattern it's been doing. I'll go ahead and show you that. So this pattern on Appl I already said it, but for the last like 6 or 7 days, it's been bouncing within the 294, 300 range. In the first 15 minutes of the day dictates the next hour of the day. And that's been going on with Appl for like a week and a half. So I like those odds. Hey, bruh. But all right, guys, go ahead, follow, like, subscribe. If you got questions, go ahead, ask them. If you want me to do certain videos on RSI, EMAs, whatever questions you have, go ahead, ask them, drop them in the comments. I got you. And like that, we preparing for another trading day. Let's get it.